Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining. It's been a bit of an eventful morning. Pau Garcia Milá, who's going also to join me on the stage in a couple of minutes, is on his way here. The plane was delayed. And I had an amazing video to start this presentation with that you won't be able to see. So you will have to look for it at Open Cosmos on YouTube. Let me start by introducing myself. My name is Rafael Jordasiquier. I am the founder and CEO of Open Cosmos, and this year the Fundació Princesa de Girona has awarded me the Entrepreneur Award. And for this reason, I'm here to share what it is to be an entrepreneur in the domain of space, big data, and AI. I'm going to try to walk you through the journey that I've been through, try to demystify the complexity around some of these areas, and hopefully make each one of you someone willing to contribute through entrepreneurship or through the activities that you do in your day-to-day jobs to having impact in the world through global data, global information, and the use of AI in this context. I don't know if you know about Open Cosmos. Very quick introduction about Open Cosmos. At Open Cosmos, we design, manufacture, and operate satellites in orbit. This is what you were going to see in the video. Amazing satellites going around Earth, taking pictures, launchers like these ones taking off with our satellites on board. And when you think about this sector, you might just think about the hardware, but at Open Cosmos, we don't only develop these satellites. We also enable all of these data to be accessible to as many people as possible through a data platform that enables the analysis and the analytics and the extraction of information to address key challenges like the energy transition, key challenges like the climate crisis, and obviously also key challenges like the sustainable use of natural resources globally. So how is it going? If you've heard about Open Cosmos, if you look at what we've been doing, you might be familiar with pictures like this. These are some of the launchers that we have used already to launch some of our satellites. You see Atlas V from ULA, the Soyuz, or the famous Falcon 9 from SpaceX. Who has seen a SpaceX launch? OK, quite a few, actually, hands going up. But what you might not usually see about a startup or a scale-up like Open Cosmos, it's its beginnings. That's how it started. It's me in the picture about 10, 12 years ago, when we hadn't budget for rockets, and we were just putting some of that technology in helium balloons that were going to the edge of this experiment. We took some pretty cool pictures. Mostly we learned about technology and how to use it. And most importantly, we inspired ourselves. We motivated ourselves into believing that it was possible to build technology that someday would be at the edge, not at the edge of space, in space, right? This is another picture of how it's going. You would have seen it again in the video. I do recommend you to go to the Open Cosmos YouTube and look at the video later. But this is the kind of satellites we built. Satellites that are more or less like a microwave oven. Okay? Some of them are slightly bigger, some of them smaller. A few of them have pictures. You see the one there on the right, not pictures, like cameras to take pictures. The binocular one takes a quite advanced hyperspectral and multispectral imagery of Earth. We also do satellites for telecommunications. We also do satellites for navigation. OK, fancy technology, but this was our first product, guys. This is what is called a CanSat. It's the size, literally, of a Pepsi or Coca-Cola can. And we sold 700 units of these about 8 years ago to the European Space Agency, so they could educate students all over the world on how to start, learning how to build emulators of satellites. So that's where we are coming from. This is how it got started. That contract, it was a very, very tiny contract. I think it was 55K euros or something like that for 700 units. With that traction, with that early traction, we managed to recruit the first engineers to start our team. So we started from sales on day one, engaging with some of the top customers, in that case, the European Space Agency. And yes, very soon after, we got the contract for the first satellite, but we should not forget that in the beginning, sometimes, some of these early products don't look exactly like what you are going to offer when your company is going to be fully fledged. And last example of how it's going and how it started. Who's here familiar with a company called PLD Space? Okay, one person, not many. You should know about these guys. They are just about to launch from Spain the first ever suborbital launch. That's the rocket that they have right now. I visited a few weeks ago in Huelva, in Arenosillo, in the south of Spain. That's the rocket that they are going to launch. On top of it, there is part of my team, the team that is based in Oxford. We have people in Oxford, Barcelona, Madrid, and soon also Porto. So if you look at how it's going, you might be just looking at this picture, this kind of company, but that's where it's coming from. I nearly teared up when I saw this picture a few months ago. This is a picture that I took over 15 years ago when we were at our first or second year at university. The people that you see at the front, these are the Rauls, Raul Verdú, literally the founder of PLD Space. And that's his first rocket. That's his first ever built rocket. And you might not see it, but do you see the people in the group in the shadow just behind it? That's me and some of the other people from Open Cosmos building some of those CANSATs as students. Can you imagine? So this is how it started, and that's where it's going. So after having showed you some of these pictures, you might be wondering, how the hell did that happen? Right? I sometimes think that myself as well. And here's where I would like to take a step back. I don't know how many of you are entrepreneurs or are looking to have like an entrepreneurial journey. Maybe hands up for those that are or want to be. OK, quite a few. So the journey of entrepreneur has no receipts for success, has no plans, has no structure. Each one of you will follow its own path. I can only share the path that I follow to go from how it started to how it's going. And everything started with this, in my case. This is me when I was a child, my parents, and the values that they taught me, actually. My parents have nothing to do with the space industry or with business or anything like that. They are doctors. They are medicine doctors. And as many of the doctors in this country, I learned 3 core values from them. One and key is never give up. Doctors don't give up. Second is to find joy in effort. Some of you or some of your family are in the medicine sector or lived through it during the pandemic. You know how hard they work and how they always look for that joy in the results of the work that they do. And the third thing that I learned from them also was to enjoy more to give than to take. So these 3 values are something that have nourished kind of the culture that we have at Open Cosmos, the reasons why we do things. And looking in perspective, it has been fundamental, the learning that I did from them on these key values into the shaping of the company that we are building today. The second thing was curiosity. This is me dressed like Mars when I was 7 years old or something like that. You might think he has always been wanting to be in space because he has a picture dressed like Mars when she was 7. No way. I was curious about everything. I've always wanted to learn about biology, about math, about anything that I could grasp. When it really became really clear for me that I wanted to develop my career into technology and particularly into space technology was at university. I went to study aerospace engineer, and there is when I found the passion for technology. We started doing some of the early balloons that I showed you earlier. We did some sounding rockets that reached supersonic speeds. We even put, in the picture that you see here, one of these rockets also at the edge of space with a balloon and then launch it to try to go even further, right? So that's when the passion for technology, for space, and building teams and working together with teams over weekends and so on really, really emerged. And we took pictures like this one. You remember the first bots with the balloon that I showed? That's the picture that we took with it. You can see the curvature of Earth, the black sky, and that to me was kind of an aha moment. That's when I realized, wow, I really want to dedicate all of my efforts, all of my time, everything that I have in my soul to literally try to democratize the access to this technology. Space technology doesn't need to be complex, doesn't need to be expensive, doesn't need to be just for a few organizations in the world. It needs to serve absolutely everyone, right? And from that little thing, that little seed was planted. And the rest is the trajectory that you have as an entrepreneur when you found a business. I told you about the first contract that we got with ESA. The second contract was this satellite already. The company was 3 months old, and we had 8 months to deliver our first satellite. Design it, manufacture, integrate it, deliver it to the launch, pass all of the tests. It seemed impossible. To give you an idea, in the big corporate from the aerospace sector that I had been working before, satellites significantly bigger and more complex than this, I must say, took us about 10 years, 15 years to develop. We did that one in 6 months, from the moment that it was contracted until we delivered it to the launch. It worked perfectly through its entire life, and it really changed the way that everyone in the industry, particularly in Europe, was thinking about this technology. What happens then? Then you launch it, and the excitement becomes very real because it's not only about building the satellite, it's putting it up there and starting to derive services for those customers, right? Our first customer in this case was the European Commission already. And from there, magic happens. Once your product gets to market, has the right traction, all of a sudden different customers want to have it. And now we've closed over 18 contracts of satellites with different players, commercial, telecom, agencies, countries, and we are very excited actually now to have a portfolio of products that go beyond the satellites. Because as I said, this is not just about to put hardware and technology up there. The most important thing is the use that we do of that data and how we can help solve the big global challenges. And that's why, apart from the Open Orbit product, which is the satellite end-to-end mission solutions, we have a constellation solution, so we can aggregate many satellites and coordinate them globally. And then we have this platform, Data Cosmos, to enable all of you to have access to that data, to build your own applications, your own AIs on top of that global data, to understand better climate, to understand why today's rain is impacting, for instance, a flooding area, right? Why there will be a more probability of a wildfire. I don't know how to program all that. I don't know how to build all of those applications, but you do, right? And you have to build on top of this platform all of this new wave of applications. This is what really excites us. Why do we do this? We do this to actually help understand Earth and to leave to the generations that are coming a better understanding and the right tools to take decisions. That little girl there on the right is my 1-year-old daughter. Every day when I work, I just think I need to enable her to live in a place at least as beautiful and sustainable as the one that I'm living, and to enable her to have the tools actually to be able to help solve those problems also going forward. That's why we do this at Open Cosmos. That's why we work so hard. So what can you do? Right? Probably now, after having seen that there is all of this new data, all of these capabilities, what will be your contribution? There are 2 big areas where using satellite technology and satellite data, you can have a massive impact. One of them is sustainability. Who is familiar with the 17 Sustainable Development Goals? Come on, I want to see a big show of hands here. Great. So I was with someone from United Nations, the president of UNOSA, a few months ago, and she told me that out of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, 11 could not be addressed without access to this global data. And I add to that, any of them cannot be addressed unless each one of you starts thinking how to use that data to really find the solutions, to really understand the problems. The other area where there is a massive revolution right now is in the digitalization. And many of us haven't seen the change that happened from mainframe computers to PCs, to then connect those PCs into the internet. And we have all seen all of the applications out of the internet, right? But that's the digital transition that happened during the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Exactly the same is happening right now in the satellite industry. The satellites that we built are smaller, offering a lot more abundant data and enabling a new wave of applications. You should today be thinking, how can I build the next generation applications on the back of these two powerful capabilities, global data and AI? And of course, we are here to help. We are here to help you build this digital twin of Earth. We have this platform which will be gladly be willing to give access to all of the data of our satellites to entrepreneurs that want to address these big impact challenges. And in it, you will find all of the tools to do amazing things like some of the things that some of our partners are already doing. Monitoring oil spills in the Mediterranean Sea, identifying carbon storage underneath sea with maps of Poseidon and the vessels that destroy it in my beautiful homeland, Mallorca. And then a lot of AI applications to identify changes, like new urbanizations, like changes caused to fire, carbon footprints, deforestation. And we will just keep adding satellites with better and better sensors to power the applications that you will envision for tomorrow. So that's the future that we need to imagine together. That's what we need to build. And of course, now, after having been shown these new capabilities, I'm sure that each one of you wants to jump off the stage and go found your own company and see how you can build your own AI applications to help solve climate, right? But I will ask you to wait for a few minutes, because with me, there is Pau, one of the most renowned and knowledgeable entrepreneurs in Spain. Please, a round of applause for Pau.
Really?
Come on.
Good to
See you. And he's going to show you live how best to use the AI tools to disrupt and create some of these new empowering companies. Pau,
well,
it's a pleasure to share stage with you.
Not really. Actually, it's a pleasure, and I'm glad to be here with you. Both Rafael and me, we are, I think I'm an awarded from Fundación Princesa de Girona from the first year, and you from the last one. So we share a very beautiful family of people who are, I usually explain ourselves like we're a group of people doing things that for a specific moment in our life we were awarded in like one of the most important awards you can receive in Spain, which is the Princesa de Girona Award. That being said, I would like to do a demo with all of you on how can we apply. We are right now in a revolution, probably I'm not sharing anything new to you all, on how AI tools can actually help our daily lives and daily jobs. However, there is still a misconception on how can we really apply those tools to our actual jobs. And we've prepared a demo that we would like to share with you. So initially, the goal is to ask ourselves, we have 11 minutes and 40 seconds remaining. The goal is, could we create a full prototype of a startup, of an actual startup in 10 minutes? We will need a website, a business plan, a deck for investors. A lot of you are investors, so we need to convince you this is a cool idea, an idea that just does not exist yet. And maybe a logo, and why not Instagram content for a year so people could discover us. We have 10 minutes, so that should be fine. The goal is, let's create a unique idea. In order to make sure this is unique, we need a unique idea. So I would like to invite you to join us on this idea. I would suggest we go for something which is not in our daily lives. For me, a computer, for you, sending rockets to the sky, still not our daily lives. Something you like to do in a weekend, like, I don't know, any hobby or something you do in your weekends when you are not working. For example, any idea you can bring me? Anything. Soccer. Sport. Soccer. Okay, and we need a group of people, a segment. For example, young kids from 5 to 12, so they will discover sports and they will get away from video games, or a group of 85-plus-year-olds, so they will move the body and rediscover, sports. You can choose any group of age. Which one would you choose? Seniors? You like 85 and above, right? Okay. 60, probably. Yeah, 65. A lot of people does not feel like senior when they reach 65. So I would suggest we 75, not you or me. Okay, so let's do this. Let me check if this, it works. So we'll start with ChatGPT and we'll go further beyond from that. Okay, we'll start easy. I'm gonna use the free version of ChatGPT because it's faster. Write a business plan for, I'm going to make it bigger. So you see, startup that will do soccer classes to people, to elderly citizens over 75-year-old, to help them enjoy sport and meet other people and make new relationships. We are doing a Tinder for our grandparents. That's fine. I'm just going to copy this. Okay, the moment we ask, it will just automatically start creating. Not a big surprise here. It will probably be a quite decent business plan. We're going to see it in a moment. However, we need quite more than this in order to make the magic, because in a business plan, you don't have a startup, you just have a business plan. Oh, continue, please. If it stops, that's the best part of GPT. We can ask him to continue. So the moment we have the business plan, we need to go a little beyond that. Let me check the name of the startup. Elderly soccer classes. Come on, not the best name. So I'm going to say thank you. Oh, by the way, I always thank the machine. At some point, those robots will rule us, and they will have a great memory on who of us were sympathetic to them and not. So thank you. Could you please suggest a list of 10 alternative names for the startup? And here we go. So, Golden Kickers, Active Senior Soccer, Silver Soccer Stars, Soccer Wisdom, Fit and Fun, Soccer Harmony, Senior Soccer Social. You choose one. Which number do you like? Golden Kickers. Yeah, I like that. And it's kind of a Tinder, right? Golden Kickers. Yeah, double kick for you. Okay. We'll go with one. Golden Kickers. And now we'll move to another tab. However, we'll let the machine work for us. Could you now write 365 motivational sentences for this startup to create Instagram posts? Okay, and while we have this, I'm just gonna copy what we just generated, Golden Kickers, and I'm gonna go here. Golden Kickers is a startup that does soccer classes to elderly citizens. Okay, we'll generate the website. It should be a website that actually works, right? I mean, it should have a contact us form, so potential users or their sons can actually contact us and reach a potential economic proposal. And while we are creating the website and the Instagram post, oh, it stopped. Continue, please. We'll go to generate the business plan and presentation deck. So let's create a presentation about Golden Kickers, and it will start generating the PowerPoint, Tome and Mixo. We are using Golden Kickers, kickstart your golden years with soccer for the elderly. I love the website. So we'll save it and customize it. It will ask us to pay some money. But as entrepreneurs, we are born with a sense of looking for the free option. And it will be there, I'm sure. It's loading. Let's give it just a minute. We'll continue generating Instagram posts. And let me check. OK. I like the outcome. And now it's generating. The site is loading. And while it's creating the PowerPoint, we'll go now to the Instagram post, right? We'll use Canva for this. We'll go to Instagram post. Oh, the website is ready. Look, it's asking us to pay, but there is this little button over here. I'll go with the free plan. Yeah, I knew there was a button. Okay, so the website is ready. I'm going to publish it, and we'll just pick the first 40 Instagram posts for us. We need to look for design. We're going to see elderly and soccer. Let's see if we have something. Okay, I would like to seniors. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we'll go with this. I mean, it's not exactly soccer, but it has the vibes, right? Golden Kickers. Yeah, let me just write here, as no one sees you. I actually like the... Okay, but it would be quite, slow to do it manually. So why don't we just automate it? I'm going to see sentences here, done. And I'm going to just connect this, the data we just generated. And continue. And it will just generate the initial 40 Instagram posts for us. As you can see, it's everything is done. And we could even schedule it in Instagram, so it will be published one every 10 days. We'll do this 10 times, and we'll have 10 different designs. So we'll have actual content for a year in advance. So people will come to Instagram, they will see the bio link, they will go to this website, which is already published. You could access it through your phone. And when we go to the last part, you could even leave your email. And if I go to the dashboard, we'll see the emails are actually here. So basically, we'll have real people coming to the website, telling us if it's good or not, and leaving us their email in case they feel it's good. And also, we have a business plan, which for those of you who are investors, I'm pretty sure you've actually swallowed worse things than that. But actually, we'll even have this PowerPoint with actual AI-generated images, which look pretty good. They start with soccer, they end up in bed. Yeah, actually, these are Trieja, threesome couple. So, yeah. My point here, of course, is, oh, and we also have 3 left minutes to do other things. The point here is not like we should be creating new startups in 10 minutes. The point here is that we can create a prototype that looks like there is something behind in just a few minutes. So if instead of just doing it once, we would do it 25 times, in one day we could have 25 prototypes running. We would be able to launch 25 100-euro ads, and with a super small investment, in 3, 4, 5 days, we would have 1,000 visits in each one of our 25 websites. So in 3 days, we would actually have a great table of data telling us which one of those ideas is good and which ones are not. Probably, and statistically talking, 90% of them would be probably not good ideas. So it would mean that from the 25 ideas in 3 days, we would have discovered that 22 or 23 of them are not good at all. However, statistically talking, 1 or 2 of them would be actually good. We would have actual interest from actual people telling us, I would like to pay for this. Then we would put our time and money into those 2 ideas, starting with an actual user base. So this is not thought to replace us as entrepreneurs, but actually, these tools are great to help us discover, to help us fail faster and cheaper. And this is something we've been looking for a long time now. Being able to super fast check if this is a good idea or not. It used to take us 3 to 4 weeks. And we were running a company that was only doing that. Now it can take 2 or 3 days. The global investment, including the man hours you are not paying because it takes you quite short amount of time, it will decrease on over 95%. So if we want to answer the question that if AI can actually help us as entrepreneurs to launch new things, the answer is yes. It's not intended to replace us or designers or developers, but it's intended to help us discover which one of the pre-prototypes is actually the good idea and then invest all of our money and all of our resources into the good one. And that's what I wanted to share with you all, and we still have 1 minute remaining. We could do the building the startup in 1 minute. So I'm going to close this. And I would love to answer any questions you have. Thank you very much for your time.